Alright, guys. We got Basilisk Reynor up here playing in the top left of Persephone. He's going to be playing here in the offline finals, open bracket finals of RSL against Vitality's MARU. Now, MARU, of course, is an absolute monster, and most importantly, he is a nemesis for Reynor. He beat him 2-0 in the group stage of the RSL Season 3, just a few weeks before this. And what's really cool is they've actually released these replays really hot. So they just came out a few hours ago, maybe 8 hours ago or something like that. Maybe less than that. I think, yes, 6-7 hours ago. So I've downloaded these as soon as I've woken up today. And we are indeed casting them straight away. So this is just from, I guess, a day and a half ago is when this was, or 2 days ago, because this was played earlier on. And, wow, Maru's going to cheese the heck out of him with a proxy 3-Rex Marine SCV all in. With this build, the question is, guys, does he go for the triple bunker wall off? I think the hatchery is too far away. That's a terrible move. I think just commit with Marines and SCVs like normal. Problem for Reynor, guys, is Reynor doesn't want to play the late game. He knows Maru's better than him at late game. He knows he has very little chance at late game. He also can struggle against Maru's mech, which Maru will mix in against him. They had some of the most epic Zerg versus mech games ever at the World Championship earlier this year. I actually feel like that was the standout series. If you had to ask me what was the funnest, most action-packed, back-and-forth series in the World Championship this year, I would tell you it's Reynor versus Maru. That is the series to watch from the World Championship. So kind of cool to see here that Maru's like, hey, you're probably going to try and be greedy and then maul me in the mid-game. I am going to start this series with a brutal cheese. And Reynor has no idea. Oh gosh, he's gone for a normal hatch gas pool build. I mean, you could defend this, but you have to pull so many drones, and you need to have really good drone micro. This is going to be really scary. Marine comes in, SCVs as well. This is incredibly hard. Oh my gosh. Okay, Overlord going over the pillar as well. Marine is there. Drone's pulling back. He's got a spine crawler on the way, but he can't let that bunker get up. That'll get up before this. He's going to try and surround the Marines. Let's go! Okay, you can try to mineral walk to phase through the Marines, but already drone's getting very low. One drone has fallen, second one getting very low. SCV goes down, that's building. The other drones do pull back. 3 drones go down, but he hasn't quite got rid of the bunker just yet. He's going to try and commit to kill that bunker. He does, but he loses more and more workers. MARU doing astronomical damage here. 6 drones do go down. And Reynor finds himself on just 14 workers in the follow-up. Now, to be fair, he's got a spine crawler up and a queen, which means he's got the ranged firepower to chip away at this. But it looks like he's not confident in moving the spine crawler further forward. And a second spine crawler building behind is absolutely the right call. 15 drones for Reynor. He's rebuilt 2 workers. He's turning one of those into a spine crawler. Lings, drones, and spine crawler trying to fight. You can see the spine crawler is going to focus fire the Marines there. Nice micro for Reynor. He's got to try to keep focusing those Marines. There we go. That Marine just got yeeted. But dude, I think Maru's got him. I think he did too much damage at the start here. Too many Marines, too much firepower. That second spine not giving it time to get up. He just got transfused energy, did Reynor. And that's why Maru pushed just then. Maru did not want to let him get transfused energy. Because remember, guys, the spine crawler has 2 armor. It's super tanky. If you can transfuse it as well, it's so much better. And you can see here, the queen was at, I think, like 46 energy. Yeah, 45, 46 energy when the spine crawler went down. This was a brilliant way to start the series. And it puts Reynor on notice. Reynor's usually the one mixing in cheeses and early pool rushes and ling speed rushes against Maru. But now Maru gets an easy win to start the series. All right, guys, Reynor gets cheesed in game 1. Not going to be happy about that, but that is how it goes. Maru, of course, getting a cheeky victory. What did I just press, guys? Okay. Maru in the top right for Vitality. Sorry, I got a new keyboard and I'm just like, I always have used the default keys, which are really like kind of crappy for zooming around the map. So now they're in like a really awkward spot of the keyboard because, you know, it's like insert and end. It's those keys that no one ever really uses. Dude, you're not actually doing... What? The frig? Reynor is hatch fasting on Maru's natural. Now, guys, he could build spines and lings and queens and bust him. He could just try to delay him with like a single spine or a queen and some zergs. He could literally just use this to spread creep. But the crazy thing about this is it's hatchery first, man. Like, he doesn't have a hatchery at home. So he's going to go hatch gas pool. I mean, he could build roaches out of it as well. My lord, it's going to be hitting so early. Maru's not going to find it until this SCV goes down. After building the barracks. Question is, does he let the Reaper finish, guys? Or does he try to cancel it, build Marines? Does he go bunker on the high ground? Sometimes people will try to build a bunker on the low ground, but that's incredibly dangerous. Dude, he's going to go bunker low ground. If REYNOR commits to Ravages, I think he has to fall back to the high ground. I think. REYNOR's going to go take a hatchery at home as well. Does see this bunker going up, of course. It is going to be Marines, no doubt, after that Reaper. The real thing here is, can REYNOR pivot in the right direction? Does he pivot hard into economy, and it's the right call? Or, and just use this as a delaying tactic, and does that work out? Does that get him ahead? He's already forced the command center on the high ground and a bunker to go down. He's going to build a queen here and try to throw some creep on this side. It looks like no roach horn, just a queen. So it's a macro opening, guys. He's just going to use delaying tactics. So what he's going to do is when the queen's almost out, he'll build 4 zerglings. So with the queen and 4 zerglings, he can protect the creep tumor. And then he can try to spread the creep tumor. He can get 1 over here and 1 over here. That's going to force either a Raven or a lot of scans out of MARU. MARU's going to play double gas on 2 base. Interesting. I think double gas 2 base is probably better than going straight 3cc. We do have 8 zerglings and ling speed on the way as well. Like I said, he's going to build a bunch of lings to protect this creep tumor. Queen needs to pull away from the bunker though, and you're going to see her put that tumor down in a nice protected area. Okay. Still building a lot of zerglings. I mean, the bunker on the low ground can always get surrounded by speedlings and killed very easily as well. That's another big problem with it. So you need to have something on the high ground, and this is why committing to the low ground, seeing lings popping out, MARU, actually the correct call here is when he sees these lings not get cancelled is to run to the high ground. Yeah, he sees plenty of zerglings there. His correct call is to go to the high ground. He needs to abandon this right now. If he loses these units on the low ground, this is really good for REYNOR. Yeah, he's got to abandon. He leaves 1 Marine and 1 Reaper inside. He leaves 1 Marine inside, but he's leaving the SCVs there. Okay, so he's trying to save some of these units, but these SCVs are still on the outside. He's got to get those to the inside, doesn't he? He could lower that and get them inside. MARU dancing his Reaper, not focusing on the important thing right now. He's got a Cyclone coming out, but this contains big. Okay, so now REYNOR's got Queen injecting at home. He does need to take a 3rd hatchery, and he's got to spread creep. So remember, guys, this is the alternate win condition in StarCraft 2 is if you connect the tips. So he's got a Chode outpost over here. If he can connect the tips with his creep from home somewhere in the middle of the map, that is an alternate win condition. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like it pops up the victory screen. It's not like the RSL League is going to give money and placing for that. But like in my mind, if you manage to connect the tips of creep from their natural to your natural, that's a game win. I don't care what anybody says. You guys are idiots if you think that's not a friggin' win right there. It's like if someone in the NBA did a backflip over someone else and then slam dunked in the process of doing that. Like, dude, if you backflip into a slam dunk in the middle of an NBA match, I don't care if your team loses by 50 points. You guys won. That's how that works, man. Cyclone's going to come forward. Lings should be able to protect that, and indeed they will. The creep's spreading back very actively. And look, he's spreading it in different directions as well. He's also got a tumor hidden over there. Raven is on the way as well as +1 bio weapons. 3 barracks as well. So it's probably going to be a 2-base timing for MARU to follow up. Finally, the hatchery goes down. But REYNOR's used all this lava to actually build a lot of zerglings, whilst he's droned up to 2 bases at home. His 3rd's on the way. He's still flooding zerglings, so he's actually very committed. So he wants MARU to come out with a pack of Marines, a Cyclone, a Raven, start clearing creep, and then he's going to swarm him with 40 zerglings, which is kind of wild. He also has walked his queen home, by the way. He said, you did a good job. I'm going to send you into retirement. So she's going to go get a nice cushy retirement. Raven's already cleared that active tumor on the right side. The Lings, REYNOR's not being very secretive. He's not really trying to like bait him out. He's just trying to buy as much time as he can. 10 more drones on the way. Evo chamber's almost ready, so we can go for an early carapace. Cyclone! Oh my gosh, the Cyclone almost died. MARU's trying so hard to get that creep tumor, and he will get it, but he loses the Reaper in the process. Nice grenade, though. The tips are getting closer, guys. Oh my god, star-crossed lovers. We've got Romeo on the right side, Juliet on the left. Yeah, this is actually crazy, dude. Dude, I don't know the last time we saw players in a pro match manage to connect the tips. This is something that I like, you know, if I'm playing someone who's 800 MMR lower than me on the ladder, this is a win condition I go for. Because I'm like, I'm so favored against this guy, I can probably get away with this. You're not meant to pull this off against MARU. You are not meant to be able to connect the tips. And yeah, oh my god, their hands are outstretched, reaching. Oh my gosh, it's there. It's there, it's connected. The tips have touched. Oh my god, what a beautiful love story. Much better than Twilight. The creep from across the map, from the wrong side of the tracks, has come back home. And that is just beautiful, man. That makes me really happy. Lara and Baneling Nesta both coming up. And no doubt Baneling Speed will be here soon. It's a 2-base stim tank timing. 5 barracks, 2 with no add-ons. And REYNOR needs to do nothing but build Zerglings and Banelings. And of course that Baneling Speed, which is quite late right now. +1 weapons done for the Terran. I love this Ling run by. He's going to intercept the rally yet again. Finds himself 2 Marines. But the tanks on the high ground are creating some insurance for MARU there. Protecting himself. A few Overlords hiding on the right side. I like that REYNOR built Overlords out of the hatchery and hid them where they wouldn't be easily sniped, but he's forgot Baneling Speed, and that's a real problem, man. He's got 150 gas. Like, it needs to be the highest priority right now. He's running around with Ling Bane. Baneling Speed, please, please. If he doesn't get Bane Speed, it's going to be so hard. Okay, there we go. Bane Speed finally does kick into gear. 80 seconds on that upgrade. Ling Bane coming forwards. Here comes the Marine tank. It's a pretty small Marine army. No combat shields either. Dude, big surround with the Lings. The Bane's trying to get forward. The Lings with a massive surround on the tanks. Auto turrets aren't going to do too much to stop that. The tanks go down. And REYNOR wisely backs away. He's going to morph some more Banes behind. Is he on 1 gas, guys? He's on 2. Okay, so he's on 2 gases. He's super gas starved. He's making 6 Banelings, and that's like most of his gas bank gone. The Queens are going to try and deal with this Raven, as well as hold on time for these Banelings to be ready. Dude, is MARU going to get through? I think MARU might be able to break, but no, the Marines are so damaged. He's pulling the boys! The Banelings are ready. Pulling SCVs into Banelings is like sending your toddler into the front ranks of a charge over the trenches in World War I. It doesn't even make sense. He's like, more! Yeah, charge the enemy machine guns. 6-year-old? I don't know. What the hell, man? Yeah, MARU, a hater of the Drilly Boys, does not respect their craft. Typical Terran, only appreciates the fighting units. Operation Human Shield not going to work out too well. REYNOR here connects the tips. Gets a massive delay with the hatchery, and I gotta say I feel vindicated every single time Cats does this build to me on the ladder. I end up in games like this, and I just get mauled. And I always wonder, how the hell are you supposed to deal with this? And I think all of the times of playing against this that I've played against, and I think I've played against it so many times, I still struggle with it. I think the big lesson that I've learned as REYNOR ties up the series is don't build a bunker on the low ground. Because what did this achieve, guys? What did this bunker achieve? It delayed your command center and nothing else. If you hide behind the wall off, send your Reaper across the map potentially as well, because there's usually not a Queen starting on time here. I mean, yeah, or even cancel the Reaper. You could even cancel the Reaper, but like my point is, the earlier you can build an add-on and get out a unit, that's going to be great. A Cyclone seems like a good idea, but as we saw, it's so weak against Zerglings that I also wonder if it's better to just build like a siege tank straight away or to go into Hellions. So for me, I always feel like if you can get a reactor pretty early, maybe you build 1 tank or something for safety, but then you get like Hellions out with a Raven, something that can deal with Zerglings on creep. The problem with this build is when you're trying to reclaim your natural, you're basically fighting Zerglings and a Queen on creep, which is really frigging hard. Like, for Terran units, right? It's really, really awkward. Chat says, I think a Cyclone drop feels really good. Yeah, potentially you could get 6 Marines, 4 Marines and a Cyclone in a medevac, and that can at least go hunt Overlords and go do some pressure and maybe do some damage. But against this version, that's bad, says Giant Orange. Well, what should you do, though? I'm really wondering, because, like, obviously, skip the bunker. The bunker just achieved nothing here. I do think 3cc is not bad as well. So I think 3 command center is not bad. And I think getting a siege tank and then Hellions is also fine. The siege tank is just for safety in case there's some sort of crazy all-in follow-up. But I think once you get Hellions, once you have like 4 Hellions on this ramp, it doesn't matter how many Lings they have. They can't really chase you onto the ramp. You can poke in and out, clear the hatchery, slowly clear it up with the Hellion Raven, and then just be going into like, you know, standard 5-Rex bio, try to land your 3rd behind it. I'm not sure if you end up behind. The real threat, like I said, and the reason I struggle is because the Zerg player is so flexible. They could just be doing nothing but drones. And from the Terran point of view, at this stage, there could be 60 Zerglings out here. He could even be building Ravagers behind this off just 20 drones, and he could come up right now with like 4 Ravagers and 40 Zerglings at 5 minutes and just kill you. And it's so hard to figure out exactly which one the Zerg is doing and which way they're going, and you've just got them in your face. And I think that's what's really hard, is you need to have like a response that is memorized before the game even starts, basically. that is solid enough to cover everything. And I actually legit think what Maru would need to do is he needs to go and find the Terrans of NA ladder. Guys like Juggernaut Jason, they might not do the best, you know, God tier pro gamer play, but that's because all their practice is dealing with baboons on the NA ladder who are just trying to throw these weird, crazy builds at you. And he's like mastered the most generic, conservative response to everything, and he knows how to do it really well. Any of the NA ladder high GM Terrans, these are the guys who know how to deal with this. They just have an exact plan. They just follow every time against it. And it feels like it's really hard to get, not even ahead. It feels hard to not fall way behind when you do this sort of hatchery block against those guys. But I need to study their response to really learn it. Either way, hats off to Reynor. Pulls out a really cheeky build order, something I think Maru probably never plays against. Catches him completely off guard. And just to wrap up one more time, I think the final point of analysis on this game, why is it so powerful? Number one, you've scared him off a third command center. Number two, his natural command center still hasn't landed at past 5 minutes 20, which is so late. Number three, you've built a medevac, a Reaper, a Cyclone, a Raven. You've built so many tech units, none of which is good at fighting, none of which has been able to harass the Zerg in any way. And so you end up building a lot of technical units that don't scale well into the later game. They're not harassing your opponent right now, and they're failing to secure this natural. And this is why I do think early Hellion production is key, because specifically, once you get 4+ Hellions, I think you can deal with these big amounts of Zerglings on your natural. I think you have to go Hellions against this to reclaim your natural. You guys let me know if you think I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that. And potentially a siege tank on the edge, I think, is way more effective than a Cyclone. Like, I'd rather just have a tank and 6 Marines come down with the Raven with the medevac, and if Lings flood in, you just pick up with the medevac. And then you just have the siege tank on the high ground covering. So you could do it without Hellions, with just one tank on the high ground covering most of the natural. The problem is, if the Lings run in the south side, your SCVs might need to keep running away. Which is why I think tank on the high ground and Hellions are probably the two most important pieces. But as you guys can tell, I'm kind of figuring this out in real time with you guys. All right, guys, Reynor with a sick build there. Going into Mothership, he's in the bottom right. We're gonna do the spinny spin. The spinny spin, Reynor for Basilisk brings out the cheeky build order. I do love his ability to bring out these cheeky builds and catch Maru off. Every time they play, he usually gets at least one win with one of these. They've both all into each other. But now we're on Mothership. It's a map where the Terran has a pretty good push bar. That being said, it's quite big. And if Reynor can loop counterattacks around the north side of the map and cut off the rally, as well as roll into this third base, that could be effective. But Maru can take a third here, and then he can take a fourth in the middle and kind of expand towards Reynor. So controlling this middle area, controlling this area, trying to get creep out there is going to be really big. And I truly believe, as Reynor, the best way to expand is third here, fourth here, fifth here, and expand along the edge of the map. However, modern StarCraft players, it is a lost art, the ability to defend faraway expansions. They are incapable of doing it because modern players did not play on Whirlwind and Frost LE back in 2013. I've really been enjoying these maps with these like spread out corners because it's very hard to defend from drops, but it's also it's so far for them to send units to that top right corner to get up there. Anyways, this is a 15-15 opening for Reynor, I believe. I think this is going to be... There's a very early... Maybe not 15-15, but it was pool before gas. So it's a very mineral-focused opening. I think he's going to do 2-base Roach or 2-base Muto. We'll see what happens. Pig, we only got one all right, not 3. That's because it's not the beginning of the series. Beginning of the series, you get all right. All right. Best thing about high school, Zergs. Every year I get older and they stay the same age. That's right, I'm a StarCraft creeper, much like Matthew McConaughey and Dazed and Confused. These are the silly young StarCraft players that I prey upon. Anyways, looks like a 2-1-1 for Maru. Old school, baby. Guys, we are seeing... No, it's a 3 racks, never mind. I thought that was going to be a factory and then a second gas go down, but... Okay, we'll see how we go. This is interesting because 2 queens, I think there's going to be 4 queen opening. Yeah, 3rd queen starts. Does he start a 4th in the main? Or is it just going to be a lair? It might be 3 queen lair. 100 gas coming in and 150 minerals is what you need for the lair. So he needs 1 more gas to return. Does he start the lair right then? Let's check. He's got the money for the lair. But he just goes link speed. Alright, just a chilled out 2-base opening for now for Reynor. Maru doesn't know, right? So he might think 2-base Muta, 2-base Roach build. We've seen this opening a couple times recently. It does mean if they try to block your third, they don't get much of a chance in there. And you can see he can build a lot of drones here quite quickly to saturate that natural. So already at 30 drones, we'll get more soon. Could have blocked with drones there, but it would have cost a lot, and the Reaper might have doubled back and got away. Good trick there with the Spore Crawler. Cancels it way too early and almost loses the drone. But he does end up surviving. All right, so we've got a third hatchery now building. It's a 320 third hatch, but 2 bases fully saturated on minerals. And part of the reason you want to do this is queens are more expensive these days, so people are really mineral focused to the point where most Zerg players are saying, I need to rush 2 mineral lines as quickly as possible and rely more on extra Zerglings to defend Hellions. I need to get an early carapace so I don't trade as badly. So we're just going to, go for the second gas, go for the early carapace, and kind of be able to contest our opponent. It's 4 racks. Oh, got it to MARU. It's an SCV pool. 4 racks is almost always an SCV pool. If Roaches or Banelings can deal with it, Double Evo cannot. Oh, Reynor! Reynor's a greedy boy, man. MARU just scanned your Overlord on the pillar, right? Wait, there was no... That in itself, he didn't even have an Overlord on the pillar. That's such a big tell, though. If you see that scan there, which I think you can see scans even in the fog, right, guys? I'm pretty sure Reynor gets that. He should know this guy's being a cheeky bastard, and he's trying really hard to hide an all-in. But Reynor right now is completely blind. No Zerglings on the map, no vision whatsoever. Reynor's doing a super optimized greed build, but as I've pointed out in all of my recent Reynor casts, Reynor does not scout very much. Reynor has probably the worst scouting of the top Zergs. He gets away with it a lot of the time, but if he defends this, he is beyond magic. He is actually the creator of magic, the origin of magic. He is the nexus of all spirit powers within and without this realm. He is literally a creature of the upside down if he can defend this. He cancels his double upgrade, starts 3 spine crawlers. It's way too late. The Marine SCV all-in's already here. He scouted this about as late as possible, and like I said, no Bane Nest, no Roachhorn. It's near impossible to defend. But Ling's already doing exactly the right move, going for the counter there. There's no way these spines are going to finish. These queens are going to try and distract and bait him up the ramp. Ling's drones, queens trying to fight here. Reynor doing about the best engagement he possibly could. He's got to buy 10 more seconds for those spines. 10 more seconds for those spine crawlers. Now they're still so far from finishing. 7 seconds. The queens all just shy of transfuse energy. They were also off creep, so it wouldn't have worked either way. Drone's trying to run to the left side. He doesn't have enough Lings to cut off the reinforce. There are 30 Zerglings building with Ling speed. Remember, Carapace got cancelled, so that upgrade's not going to kick in time. Spine crawler is trying to move into the natural. He's going to be able to isolate the rally. Remember, it was only a small SCV pool, and there is a double engineering bay behind it. So MARU, as long as he kills this main base, I think he's done enough damage to be okay. The Lings, though, have done really well for Reynor, cleaning up the rally of Marines so nicely. And MARU's got to raise the wall. These guys are now stuck on the other side of the map. The spine crawlers should be able to defend the ramp. The Marines might be able to kill the extractor from the high ground, but I think that's all you grab here. You kill that, and then you just kind of chill, because you move into those spines and they'll make mincemeat out of these Marines. Now, is this recoverable for Reynor, guys? He's going to go into double upgrades, rebuild his spawning pool, and I think he needs to send a drone north to take another hatchery, which is, of course, super dicey. He could also try to use queens to spread a creep tumor here, and then an overlord bring it over and start slowly chipping at these Marines with queens. But he needs an overlord over here as well, and he needs to, of course, not uproot the spine crawlers, or he could be in big trouble. Well, that's a good little Marine move out. 12 more Lings are on the way, as well as a Bane Nest. He's just going to... Oh, he's going to take the middle base. Yeah. I think the northern base is better, personally, but... Marines coming across... Dude, this is a crazy move out for MARU. I think this is a good move for MARU if he moves to the middle, touches the tower, and then goes home. Because he should know that this is going to force Reynor to build units. He sees Lings popping out even with these Marines. If he goes home right now, this is genius for MARU. Or if he goes hides in the top side of the map. Whoa, the Marines are going to try and stim forwards. Okay, well, he throws that away. They get destroyed. These Marines have to go hide, like I said, in the top of the map. Try and just hide right now. You're in such a good spot as MARU. That being said, no third command center. But he's going up to a 5th barracks. He's got medevacs coming out soon once this starport swaps over. Up against a Zerg who doesn't have a third and is stuck on 32 workers. So Reynor is deep in D-Town. He does start a lair, 4th hatchery rebuilding in the main base. And it does look like it's going to be a really big problem. But yeah, to be fair, heinous lack of scouting for Reynor this game, guys. The scan on the pillar should have told him something was up, but he also should have just had a Zergling outside. And if he had time to respond, like even if he saw the move out and started the spine crawlers 8 seconds earlier, that would have been good. So we've got, guys, by the way, quick little aside while this game calms down. Harold one in the chat says, F you pig. Feel me? You feel me? Thanks, man. I sometimes feel like sometimes some of the viewers are a bit lower level than me, so they don't understand all of my analysis, but I'm really glad you feel me, man. Thank you very much. I mean, it's not necessary to glaze me all the time, but I do appreciate you guys just letting me know that you're on the same wavelength. Thank you very much for the love. Appreciate you hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enjoy yourself over here. Double drop going towards the main base. We've got 2 queens, 42 zerglings, and 7 banelings. 1-1 upgrades are here, though, which is nice. We go drop towards the main. $45 workers for Raynor. If Raynor brings this game back, are we going to give him that Grand Wizard title? People keep telling me Grand Wizard's not a good term, and I should say Archmage instead. I don't know what the difference. Doesn't that mean the same thing? Archmage, Grand Wizard? Apparently there's some sort of relationship where it's bad. Who knew? No, I'm from Australia, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm trolling. Bio's gonna come forward. I did the first time I said that on stream. Say it, like I didn't realize. I've since been told. Dude, the banelings actually connect. Dude, Raynor. I'm sorry, I wasn't even talking about it because I'm like, surely this is game over. Maru goes too deep on creep, gets surrounded. The banelings connect. Units lost time still pretty rough. And 2-2s on the way. I think Maru's in such a good spot with his 3rd floating out. And Raynor's so compromised, he's probably screwed. But that was actually a legit surround right there. I mean... Here we go. Lingbane coming in. Queen's coming forward. Oh, one of them does go down. That Widowmine already got a good smear. The Marauders on the front are a really big problem, even without concussive. Raynor wisely gives it up. Great Ling run by for him. He's going to do a little bit of damage, but he doesn't even have the gas to start 2-2, and he's back to 3 base against what is now Maru going to 3. Even though Maru is taking a while to get his 3rd, it's allowed him to keep up the pressure to such a level where I feel like if Raynor had Infestors, maybe you could get some, magic fungals, but Banelings, it's so hard to make comebacks when you're this far behind with Banes. Then again, if Maru just literally plays like hero and leaves his pants around his ankles, Lings are going to get in 2 mineral lines at once. Banelings connect on the bio, forcing a pickup. Big Widowmine does clear 4 Banelings, though. Not bad. A few Lings are going to run in the 3rd base. Widowmine is going to clear them, though, which means there's only 2 Lings alive in there. 17 workers have already gone down. Maru... Shoulder injury, Maru? Is that what we're blaming for this one? I don't know, guys. 23 SCVs go down. Now, don't get me wrong. He's still got a double upgrade advantage. He's still only down about 20 workers, which is not a big deal when Zerg's only got 3 hatcheries. And they're going to start mining out, right? These mineral patches are going to start disappearing in the natural. Probably not the main since that base died. This is an issue. Now, something I've noticed a lot from Maru recently is he doesn't rally to his depot very much anymore. He does like to just rally across the map a lot of the time. So his door has been open a lot. And when he's ahead and he's able to dictate where the action happens, he gets away with it. But yeah, this is unnecessarily sloppy for Maru. The first attack getting surrounded, now leaving his door open. I mean, don't get me wrong, Raynor's like the comeback kid. He's one of the scrappiest players in the world. He's found the money somehow for that very expensive +2 Carapace build. By the way, guys, +2 Carapace, did they make that cheaper? Is it only 200 now, or is it still 225? I feel like it's still 225, isn't it? I think it's only the flyer upgrades that got cheaper. Hatchery! No! Cancel! Oh, valuable minerals there. He's got 7 queens up, so at least he's got budget anti-air now, does Raynor. Remember, these queens only built recently, guys. It is 200 now. Thank you. I always forget that the Terran upgrades are cheaper now. The armor upgrades are cheaper. I still think I need 225 for it. There's a lot of these little subtle changes to the numbers that I forget about. Marine Marauder, drop it on the high ground. Triple drop in the north as well. Oh. Raynor has so few bases. And this is taxing him right now. He needs like Hydras or Infestors, something to lock these units down. There's Widowmine Bio there. Random Hellion. I think that Hellion was a misclick. Gonna drop the center base. Lings and Queens are there. These guys still being a nuisance on that side. Overlord gets taken out in the north. This one does get pushed back. Good defense there. Do you guys prefer defense or defense, by the way? Sometimes when I'm talking about defense, I kind of feel like I'm talking about, like, offense, you know? I'm like, it's defense. It's defense. That's the fence right there. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, yeah, but then defense, sometimes I feel like I'm making a D joke, you know? He's going to D-town. Dude, Maru's just working these angles. He's got the double upgrade advantage. He's got Marauders against Banelings. He's got Medivacs. He can pick up and leave at any time. So he's grinding REYNOR down here with these superior trades. Yeah, you can use both, guys. I'm not saying one's correct. I'm just saying which one do you prefer to say. They're both perfectly fine. Also, do you guys like to write it with a C or an S? Because I actually alternate between the two spellings. And I don't know if one's meant to be more correct in a certain situation than the other. Because I think it depends on where you live. And I kind of just rotate between the two. But as you can see, guys, +2 Marauders have pretty good defense. And they end up smashing it. Marine Marauder's going to pick up and move away over there. Very nicely done. I prefer Willem Dafoe. He's a great actor, Willem. I love Willem Dafoe. Yes. Queen's coming forward. The Marauders up front. You see, this is the problem, guys. Marauders up front, your Ling Bane stacks on them, and then the Widowmines get big shots. You don't need as many Marines once you've got heavy Widowmine Marauder, because look at this. It's just so hard to get through the Marauders. The Banelings, so many have to get expended. He does have 7 burrowed Banelings there, hoping a mass of Marauders moves over them. But REYNOR, I mean, dude, full dropship flight in. MARU accidentally F2'd his dropships from the right side. It just unloaded on his... Okay, MARU, when he's ahead in the mid-game, really does not look elegant. This is something I've pointed out for a long time, guys. MARU is the king of the early game. He's the king of the late game. In the mid-game, REYNOR is so much faster than he is. Clem is so much faster than him. It often doesn't matter, though, because MARU's already put himself in such a good position, or he just turtles to late game. That was not pretty. MARU, like, I love the way he played that game, and I think the Marine SCV all-in was really good. But I do feel like the way he finished it off in the mid game was not as dominant as it should have been. Even though it's like, it doesn't matter. He's still way ahead. He's still obviously like won the game decisively. I have to go back to this Overlord and say, is this a huge like mistake? Him scanning this pillar, guys? Because I'm pretty sure you can see scans anywhere on the map. If you watch this is REYNOR's map vision. I'm pretty sure you hear a sound effect and this shows up, right? You see, maybe you don't get the sound effect, but you do get it on the minimap, right? You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you can see scans in the Fog of War. And that scan there is the most suspicious thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, I don't know if REYNOR missed it or not, but to me, your opponent scanning there at 4 minutes on the pillar to kill an Overlord they think might be there, I'm like, what are you trying to hide, buddy? That alone is, I think, potentially a misplay from MARU, maybe a bit too obvious. On the other hand, the complete and utter lack of map vision for REYNOR, I think, was a little heinous as well. He has 2 Zerglings only, and really, I think with the Reaper having already gone down, these Lings should have been one here, and he could have been poking the natural to try and see what's happening, not to mention seeing a move out. Because, as it is, I just want to show you guys the difference in benchmarks. If he's active with 2 Lings on the other side, he sees the move out at 4:31. Instead, REYNOR saw the move out at about 4:47, 4:48. 15 seconds. Imagine 15 seconds earlier warning on this. Imagine if when these Marines and SCVs get in here, these Spine Crawlers are 15 seconds further on. They'd only have 6 seconds left till they're finished. I'm not saying you're necessarily going to hold, but it does mean you'd maybe have time to build a Baneling nest in the back of your main or something like that. You'd have time to get more Zerglings out. You could have more Lings cutting off the reinforcement earlier, maybe trying to bait a stim out of these Marines. Just a bit more chance to get something done. I also think these Queens should have tried to fall back further. It's always hard to say in the heat of the action, but I think if he manages to get further into the main, wait for Transfuse to come in, he maybe could have picked off a lot more Marines. Hard to do, easy for me to criticize from the sidelines. But definitely, big hole in REYNOR scouting gets massively punished in Game 3. Alright. What the heck is going on? We are going into Game 4, and REYNOR is going to go, ah, man. I mean, I like this build order, guys. I mean, instantly saturate your base. Go for quick double upgrades. Not a bad move. Just got to really be scouting. Because, I mean, MARU's open with the 3 racks. Got to win. REYNOR did a hatchery. Put him on the defensive. He won. So MARU said, let's do a 4-racks Marine SCV all-in. One of Bjorn's favorite builds about a year or 2 ago. Used to spam that one. And if you look at the games, I remember like Solar Bjorn would do it so much against Solar. Solar would always have a Zergling outside of his base, poking in and out. And if he moved out with a few Marines, he'd have a second Zergling come in behind to like see if there was SCVs and Marines coming behind it. And Solar got so good at stopping that build. But REYNOR caught with his pants down. No map vision at all. And that is an issue. This is Celestial Enclave, a map with a very defensive setup. You can see REYNOR has set up his camera locations for his bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. And then 6 and 7 out in the middle, I think, because I saw him scroll through his camera locations. You can see this blue box on the screen, and he kind of went bam, 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 bam. So I think it's that order that he's planning to expand in on this map, going in a straight line along the top left, ignoring the back base since it's only 5 minerals. Relying on that Zerg mobility. The question for me is, does MARU go for a quick third CC? Or, you know, a lot of guys will go command center first in the back, and then they'll float their third command center down here. MARU's going to go for an SCV scout out back. This is a worker-only path, in case you guys are wondering. Sorry. It's only workers. Nothing else can ever move through that part of the map. You can't mine those minerals open. And there's just a command center on the front for him. Scar says actually the high gas is the third base. Oh, is REYNOR going to do Roach Ravager, is he? Okay. Yeah, REYNOR's addicted to taking these garbage bases with the rich gas. It's only got 5 minerals, so it's pretty trash. But the gas is nice, gives you a bit of efficiency. Is Roach Ravager good on this map? I mean, I guess it's a good way of dealing with all the nasty tank positions on this map. I imagine REYNOR just tries to play Roach Ravager into Hive Tech if he does that. But if you play Ling Bane, you really should not take this third base, I don't think. It's got a ledge right above it here. Maybe, oh, maybe it's not too bad. Some of these areas, I mean, a tank push from over here is kind of scary as well. Interesting. Either way, Reaper's coming in. Third command center has gone down for MARU on location in the back base. REYNOR, hey, I like that. Previous series they played in RSL Season 3, he kept waiting until his drone was down to 1 hit point and losing multiple drones for no reason. I love that he's actually playing safe now with that and actually building that a lot quicker. Interestingly, MARU's gone 3cc into 3 racks. Oh, we know this build. MARU's done this build so many times. He's going to go double upgrades now as well. He did this against REYNOR in RSL on this map when they were in, I think it was opposite spawns, right? 2 engineering bays come down next when he gets to 250 minerals. If he does that, then we know exactly what build it is, and I think it will be that build order. He threw a grenade from the other side. That's cute. So he gets high ground vision up there. All right, so he's getting the minerals now. 250 minerals will be there very shortly. Can't delay the engineering base too much longer. There we go. Yeah, okay. So MARU's basically just probably going 8 racks, mass bio mine, Marine Marauder Widow mine. He will keep expanding behind it, but he often stops at about 70 workers with this build and plays more of a momentum, aggressive style. Now, REYNOR, the problem he ran into last time he played against this, well, actually, he's got a very quick lair. Oh, he's doing a Ling Queen all-in. Okay, awesome. He's just going to all-in. I don't think that works against 3 racks Marine, does it? Then again, the Marines are coming kind of late. Yeah, Overlord speed. So he's going to drop 4 Queens, and he's going to flood Zerglings at the same time, guys. Well, Stim's not starting till after 1-1. I think he gets there before 1-1 and Stim. It's going to be so many Zergs. Okay, so the trick here is, can MARU get like 15 Marines in a ball with SCVs in front of them in a choke point? If so, Ling Queen's going to really struggle with that. But the problem is he can't Stim, so he's not going to be able to quickly reposition. If he's caught out of position, he's just in trouble. Lings are going to push back the Reaper. The Reaper did see 2 bases. He doesn't really know what's happening. MARU has no idea. He's not built a bunker. I mean, remember, I've talked about how this map polarizes build orders. People play either extremely greedy or extremely all-in on these sorts of maps. REYNOR is one of the first top pros I've seen to actually go extremely all-in on it this season. And I was literally criticizing their previous series, saying, why are pros not going all-in? At the moment, everyone's being way too greedy on these maps, not scouting that much. No one's doing all-ins. REYNOR has realized, hey, let's just go kill a guy before his upgrades kick in. He's got about 50 seconds. So he's got to hit before Stim and 1-1 finish. These Marines, if he can surround them on the low ground, that's going to be massive. MARU, no reaction at all. He's got to lower this depot and get these Marines to safety, but he's going to get flanked. Oh, no. And MARU just taps. Remember, I was like, if he can get 15 Marines together in a choke point with SCVs blocking for them, he just loses half of his Marines before he even notices what's happening, and then the other guys get surrounded. These Marines, like I said, they needed to lower this depot, run south, get all these SCVs in front of them. I mean, you can lose 30 SCVs and still be ahead here as MARU. You're against a literal 2-base Zerg, who's only on 27 workers. But yeah, if those Marines get caught, that's a problem. And obviously, once Stim and 1-1 kick in, which is 40 seconds away for all of that, the Marines start to smash, especially the 1-1. Stim's kind of dicey because you don't have any medevacs this early on, but the 1-1 is actually huge. Great all-in for REYNOR, gets the win. Part of what I'm wondering here is, could MARU have scouted this if he sent another SCV across the map, guys? Because if we look at his scouting, he never sent an SCV through the back door. So in his mind, he has no idea what's happening. And a lot of Terrans I've noticed will sneak an SCV out. They'll go out this right side, they'll run around, and they'll try to go in the back door. And if they don't see a third base, they'll go, ooh, what's going on? And they'll try to sneak in to go, is there a, mutas? What's going on? MARU's scouting was a little bit lazy. Like, his Reaper checked the corner for an expansion. Wait, did he check bottom right? He was looking for corner bases, guys. He literally thought REYNOR might have hidden a corner base. How is that the priority? That's crazy that he checked corner bases before sending an SCV in the back door. I think MARU just wanted to play as greedy as possible, didn't want an SCV to go across the map, gets punished for it. Great win here for REYNOR. GG. All right, guys, REYNOR wins with an all-in after losing to an all-in. And before that, he won with an all-in. And before that, MARU won with an all-in. Basically, two guys are throwing punches, and every punch is landing and knocking out the opponent, and no one is able to defend. MARU has said, what could stabilize in this series? 2-Rax Reaper, that's the play. I mean, he doesn't necessarily, he could play 1-Rax walled off here. MARU is one of the few Terrans who does the Gumio style, gets an early factory with a reactor in the natural wall off. Very weak to Ravager Ling all-ins, but we'll see. Usually it's 2-Rax Reaper these days. Yeah, both REYNOR and MARU, neither one has played a straight up game successfully. It's whoever attacks first has got the success so far. Now this is a 16 hatchery, so it looks pretty typical opening for a REYNOR. And you can see he's going to finish saturating the minerals with this guy. Next one takes the gas, and next one takes the pool. So he pairs this up on this patch because there was only one worker on that patch, so those two are there. That guy goes on gas, 107, and spawning pool. You can see he gets 200 minerals right now, 111. Well timed. On the other side, it's barracks. Oh, he's not doing, guys. Sorry, it's not 2-Rax Reaper, it's 2-Rax Marine. This is the original Bomb Cloud build. What in the heck? I saw him do this recently, right? But I'm trying to remember what the follow-up was. Because I think he takes a gas before commands. It's such a weird build. So you can hunt overlords if they fly in here and you kill them, but you can also go across and bunker rush the third. So usually the response to this for Zerg is to delay the third, but you'll notice REYNOR, he was scouting down here looking for proxy barracks. He's worried about a proxy barracks Marine all-in because that's what's been dominating this series. So he's going to scout straight across the map. Sorry, he's going to delay his scout straight across the map. He's not going to know about this for a while. And usually one of these barracks will lift to scout this pillar eventually, but he might already be too far away to even get to the safety of the pillar. He's going to run down that way. No Zerglings building this game. Just 2 queens and overlord. Ling speed does start up there. He's pulled off gas. Only mined 4 extra gas. Pretty efficient. And the Marines do get themselves an overlord. Nice start here. Command center has, of course, gone down, but only at about 203. So about 20, 25 seconds late from a normal one. Extra depot has to go down. Still putting Marines for now. And a factory. Placing as a backup wall on the high ground in case he gets breached. This is really interesting to see the players throwing such interesting strategies at each other. That's what I always love about the Korean scene is there's usually a little bit more of I would say, creativity in the Korean scene, generally. The European scene tends to go towards the more optimized style, and the discussion about StarCraft is not so much looking for holes, it's more about trying to find the perfect way to play the game. And so players end up kind of defaulting to playing what they think is optimal in a perfect game, whereas Koreans are much more aware of how imperfect everyone is as a player, and that's why they bring out these cheeky little bunker rushes, and they say, hello, did you want to take a third base here? Now, funnily enough, there's a spine crawler. That's a massive waste of money. REYNOR cancels this base, but I'm surprised he doesn't already have a drone on the other side. Felt like he wasn't fully, understanding what's happened. I mean, he's built a lot of Zerglings as well. 18 Zerglings off just 29 drones. I guess he wants to defend this other third hatchery, but I feel like he could have been greedier. Oh, if he stops him getting in the bunker, that's massive. Yeah, stops him getting in the bunker. There's only one Marine inside the bunker, which is not that useful. One Zergling should definitely chase after the SCV. I mean, I guess the SCV doesn't get home either way, right? Surely he catches this, right? Surely you don't just leave the SCV to hang outside your base? Maru's like, no, I'll just scout your work account. Okay, good to know you're not all-inning. Nice to know that you're droning right now. I don't need to build a bunker. Reynor giving him a bit of free information there. I think otherwise he has to build a bunker at home, and Maru's going to be thankful for that. I think Reynor's fine after this opening. I don't think this actually ever puts Terran ahead if they lose all those Marines. I think if you do one barracks and get the bunker and either cancel it or build a bunch of stuff with just 3 Marines and a Reaper, I think that's super worth it. But I think if you go 2 barracks Marine, you lose all those units. Like, yeah, the third is delayed, but Reynor can already be droning this. He's not choosing to, though. He's gone double Evo second gas. He's going to rush double upgrades. Oh! The wall-off's open! Lings get in! Uh-oh! Oh, Maru! Opens the door. The disrespect there for the Zerglings. But good micro by Maru. Really good crisis management. Can Reynor even get 2 SCVs? Yeah, 3. 3 SCVs, couple Marines. I think that's still a good trade for Reynor. 1-1 upgrades have started for him. Before the 1-1 of Maru. Significantly earlier, in fact. And now... So Reynor scouted double eBay, so Maru's going to pivot to mech. Maru is like playing straight up as for losers. These 2 barracks with add-ons? That's a fake out. The 2 engineering base, that's a... He's basically saying, I don't want to play anything even approximating a straight up game here with you. He's going to start Stim just so he doesn't have to think about canceling it too much, just so if it gets scouted, it looks like he's playing Bio. That's the reason for that. But 1-1 Roach is already on the way, so Reynor is already doing a style that's good against mech. Oh, Maru, not expecting this. Wait. Why does Reynor know? Reynor canceled melee and went range. Why did he choose to play Roaches, guys? I mean, maybe he... I mean... It's perfect, but did he see the factories go down? He didn't. But the pivot into Roaches is such an interesting decision because it's such a good thing against the mech pivot out of Maru. Maru's setup is so... Is it... Wait, what's he... He does have a third landed, but man, he's in such a jank position now. Such a jank position. Maru may have thrown Reynor off, but Reynor, I think, has just kind of waltzed his way through the chaos, and he's come out with an amazing position. Blue Flame coming in. Oh, no. Guys, he's just going to do a mass Blue Flame attack into mass Roaches. Reynor's already at 66 drones massing Roaches. This Hellion attack... And this is just all wrong for Maru, guys. All wrong. All wrong. Oh, no. Double Armory coming up. He's like, I'm going to have mass 1-1 Blue Flame Aliens. And he really thinks it's a Ling Queen Baneling build. Because that's what Reynor's shown him. Meanwhile, Reynor's like, by the way, I'm going to A-move you with like 40 Roaches. And then Maru's like, oh... Yeah, bet you're not ready for 20 Hellions with Blue Flame. Let's go. My name's Maru. Anyone call for some barbecue? And Reynor's just like, LOL, man. I got mass Roach. Maru sees the Roaches, feels his heart sink immediately. He continues in. There's no way that's going to pay off, mate. He loses like 7 or 8 Hellions. Lings run in on his third. Maru's so screwed right now. He's trying to make his first tanks on a 4th command center. But I think Reynor can A-move him, man. This is brutal, dude. This is brutal. I mean, maybe Reynor also is like, hey, this looks like a Ling build. I'm just going to pivot because you won't expect it. He did see Hellions coming out. Full swap into Roaches just because you see some Hellions is not usual, but... One barracks goes down, second barracks about to go down. There's 3 tanks and 3 Marines, guys. Can that defend this army? We're about to find out. Roach Queen on the right will defend these Hellions. The Hellions on the left going AFK as the tanks are getting jumped on. No Overseer here, but he gets a Roach up the ramp for the high ground vision, which is all he needs. Hellions in the natural start to kill some workers, but it's nowhere near enough. And Maru there tries to get way too cheeky for his own good. Pivoting from Bio back into mech. I think he might have been a little behind anyway. But that swap from Bio to mech because he'd been scouted was just a bit too fancy. All right, guys, REYNOR there, mid. I think we've got some info, apparently, about what happened in that last game from both players' perspectives, from the interviews with both of them after the games. But to not spoil me or anyone, the people who know about that in chat haven't shared it with us yet. So they're going to share it with us at the end of the series. So at the end of the 6 or 7 games, if REYNOR wins this one series over, if MARU wins this and the next, then he can get it. It's Winter Madness, REYNOR in the bottom right, and it does look like a standard 16 hatch, assuming he builds one more drone here. Yep, 16 hatchery will go down. And of course, a very typical barracks gas for MARU in the top left side of the map. Yeah, MARU got a little too fancy in that last game. I don't mind the Tyrax Marine bunker pressure. I think it probably goes better if the Zerg tries to be greedy and doesn't build those Zerglings, which that was my inclination, is be greedy, build the third on the other side, cancel the first one. I know they build like 8-10 Zerglings, let him walk home with his Marines, but REYNOR just slapping the Marines down, killing them, and not letting the bunker refund was actually huge. And it turned out in that situation, obviously MARU would have been better off, I guess, staying in the bunker and hugging it, knowing that link speed was early enough that there was no way to get home. Yeah, funny swap to Roaches. I think it was pretty REYNOR favored either way, but I would have loved to see REYNOR a bit ahead in the game, but so convinced that it's bio play, and then have 20 Blue Flame Hellions arrive when he's only got Lings and Queens. Like, that would have been really fun to see how well REYNOR would be able to defend that, and would MARU be able to get enough damage to get back in the game. But running into Master Roach is like, oh, okay, these Hellions can't fight this at all. All right, we've got a Reaper into Marine. Third command center, I imagine. After factory, of course. It's actually a pretty quick factory. That's interesting. Most people build the factory with this SCV, but MARU for some reason didn't. The reason you don't need the factory this early is because the reactor's not going to be ready in time anyway, right? But yeah, interesting. And he's gone second gas. Okay, so he does want to get that swap as quickly as possible because he's not playing 3CC. The drone got bounced by the grenade. Nice move by MARU. That drone kill, like I said, I thought REYNOR was doing much better this series because he hadn't lost a drone to the Reaper. And here we are, game 6, and a drone goes down. Still, 1 drone out of 6 games, not too bad, but I've been recently very critical because I've noticed, like, Clem against... I know it's Clem and his Reaper's insanely well microed, but he's been killing Solar's drone, like, every second game. I've seen so many Zerg players, REYNOR, Solar, a few of the other guys, just losing drones every second or third game to the Reaper. And at pro level, I just don't think there's any reason to ever be losing a drone to that Reaper. It really is unnecessary. So good to see that REYNOR's been a bit tighter this series, but of course MARU happy to get that early advantage. Now we are going to go double creep. I love that REYNOR has gone away from the early injects. In fact, he's completely skipped injects. That's instant 2 creep tumors. Wow, my man going old school creep spread style. He's not going to have as much lava for droning, but wow. That's, yeah, very early. I guess he did go 2 injects first, right? Yeah, he's got a good drone. So it's 2 lava injects directly into 2 creep tumors. Then he drops the third one. Okay, this is cool. REYNOR doesn't scout, guys, so he doesn't know. This supply depot in the wall off for MARU is a big tell. If a Ling ran in or an Overlord, he would know that this is a fast tech build. And Hellion Banshee is the main thing you got to worry about there. You want to get up spores about 425, 430 to be safe against that, and extra Queens and Lings to stop the Hellion run-bys. So far, Queen count's really good at 4 with 2 more coming. Lings, oh, good spready on the Lings. Great block on the Lings, but they will get toasted. And if the Hellion Reaper can get into that main base where I think there's only 1 more Queen, that could be good, but he's not gone into the main. I think he should have gone straight for the main. Nonetheless, good drone pulls here by REYNOR. Queen's trying to cut off the chase of these Hellions. Drones will block them if they go into them. Great spore trick, dude. He only got 2 drones and 8 Zerglings. Good cleanup, but a fair amount of mining time. And of course, REYNOR only now starting the lair and stuff. He did get a Ling in during all of that. He saw the fast cloak. He saw it to double gas. His Lings will go across to pressure, see if they can catch some damage. And the spore crawlers are a bit late. They've just now started. These are very late spores. The spore crawler needs to move, REYNOR. REYNOR, you need to move. Cloak's not done for another 8 seconds. He's got time. And that should be enough time to get it in position. Now, remember, with this 2-gas build order, you need to do a lot more damage. Clem's been doing the 2-gas a lot as well recently. The goal is you need to kill often about double the amount of stuff you need to kill with a 3 command center, just because the third is so much later. So taking a trade like that with your first 4 Hellions is actually a disaster. Like, it's terrible because, look, there's 6 Queens, 12 Zerglings out, 7 more drones building. Lair's going to be here, which means Overseer will give detection. And, yeah, that's actually crazy. And she's going to pick off a Ling. Carapace already on the way as well. Despite everything he's done, he's already got Carapace. Not bad. It's not far behind the 1-1 of Terran either. 10 worker advantage for REYNOR. If he can limit the Banshee damage to just 1 or 2 drones, he'll be in an amazing position. He's only built 1 Overseer for now. He doesn't want to make a second one. Normally, in a game where you... Oh, what is this? Guys, this building placement is awful. He's blocking his own ramp. I mean, I guess Lings and drones can get around it, but, like, what the heck? That's so ugly, right? I feel like Hero just took control of Zerg. He's trying to wall his own base in. Ugh. It's just so ugly. It's not like it's unlikely it matters. It just looks gross, man. He's going to play his double upgrade into Fast Hive. So he's going to play Ling Infest and no Baneling style. Hellbat timings can be good against this, as well as anything that hits before Ultras with a Mass of Marines can be amazing. It is an 8 racks. If MARU doesn't build add-ons, which it looks like he's not planning to, because you can tell there's no space for an add-on, and just goes pure Marine tank, then I think this is very hard for REYNOR to defend. I like that MARU moves out and then immediately pulls home. Kind of scares REYNOR a little bit. Doesn't actually commit. 5 gas for now. First 2 Infestors on the way. Hive is already coming in. Hive started at 625. An incredibly fast Hive. Ultras are going to be massive. Double Marine coming forward. No Armory. He's playing an Armory-less. It's a 1-1 all-in, guys. It is a 1-1 Marine tank all-in for MARU. He is going hard or go home. He's also not even saturating his third. It's the old-school Spirit all-in where you stop at 50 workers, 4 gas. It's a 4 gas, 1-1 all-in. This thing hits like a brick crap house, man. It is so friggin' powerful. Lings are going to get us surrounded these Marines as they unload. Hellions coming forward as well. It is a bad fight for MARU, though. MARU getting a bit cocky here, throwing away a few Marines, but he does allow him to maintain position. He's going to start pushing towards great creep spread to start. 1 good fungal, 1 good Ling surround before combat shields lands. Could be game over. The Infestors are not in scan range. He's got to move the Infestors to the edge, and he's got to jump on this. REYNOR biding his time. Hive is finished. How quickly does he start the Ultra Cavern, guys? He's already got +2 Carapace on the way. It's going to be 1-1 versus 1-1 for most of this fight. The Infestor Fungal comes in, lands some decent Fungals, but 2 Infestors have already gone down. Lings take care of a lot of the Marines. 1 tank down. Can he get the second? The second tank, even though it's hugging the edge, does fall. Another Fungal lands, which means those guys can't pick up. The Queens are going to come forward with these Zerglings to support. Creep is receding. The Marines are still there with a decent count. You can see this 1 more tank has arrived. Queens will buy a bit of time as my computer lags in excitement. Adrenal glands on the way, +2 Carapace as well. What an action-packed best of 7 this has been. MARU's not going to give him time. He's out of Fungals. He's only got 40 Zerglings. If MARU can win this fight against these Zerglings and push through the Queens, it could be game over. But MARU, his rally gets hit by a counter. REYNOR with some really nice moves out there. And this is huge right now. The Lings intercepting the rally, trying to find decent engagements. Will it be enough? Adrenal +2 Carapace and Ultra Cavern all on the way. The Queens, though. How many Queens? 9 Queens! They're buying so much time. I think the Lings have to go forwards here. Does he actually overwhelm? He's got the wrap around. Queens are going for the Medivacs. Is that enough? Can he get rid of the Siege Tank? It's hard to see. The Lings are melting. The Infestor's getting focused by the Siege Tank, though. Guys, I do not know why my computer is lagging so badly. I apologize for this. What has happened? Is that my computer freezing? Oh my god, my computer's freezing! What is happening? In the middle of this fight, I apologize, guys, for those technical glitches. I really do just think my StarCraft version is freezing up. I know a patch came out today. I don't know if it's my computer or the patch doing something weird, but I'll make sure I close some stuff and close the recording after this. As we'll see what's happening. Something's hitching up. Queens Infestors gathering at the front. Marines and a tank and a lib coming forwards. Dude, he needs the Ultras. 3 Ultras almost out. +2 Kindness as well. The Lings do clean up those Marines on the reverse side. Here we go. Ultras are going to go for it. The Queens, are they enough to clear up the Liberator? 1 Infestor goes down. 2 Infestors go down. The 3rd Infestor deep in the red. But he clears up the ground army. The Marines at least got inside the Medivacs, though. But the Liberator is now gone. And the Ling Ultra reclaims control of the map. I think this sort of all-in for MARU is actually the counter to REYNOR's build order. And you might be looking at it going, but he lost! I think REYNOR was quite far ahead off the opening. I think that's the real problem here, guys. I think if I had to summarize this game, I'd say REYNOR now is in complete control. That was a 50 worker all-in with just 1-1 upgrades, no 2-2, with not only Ultra Tech with Kindness now upgrading, but a +2 carapace against +1 attack advantage. That's an insurmountable lead. This should be a cakewalk from here for REYNOR, and it all comes back to the fact that he built a lot of queens really early, got good creep spread, and he shut down the early Hellions as well as he did. The first 4 Hellion dive doing no damage, and then the Banshees adding on top to only get a total of 8 drone kills. That's nothing. When you've invested as much in the fast Banshee Hellion, delayed your 3rd command center, the way MARU did, this was just a good start for REYNOR, and I think even though this sort of really all-in 1-1 Marine tank push, I think it's perfect because it hits before Ultras are out. It forces the fights against just a couple of Fungals and a pack of Zerglings and a couple of Queens, and you're kind of finding that sweet spot where you're hitting like a minute and a half before Ultras are on the map, so you've got plenty of time to push through the creep and kill the 4th and force the fight before Ultras are on the field. Unfortunately for MARU, REYNOR he had enough Zerglings, he had the upgrade advantage, and it seemed like he had enough of an advantage from earlier in the game that helped him play that. Now, MARU, of course, has to go into late game mode, but notice Spires on the way. That'll add Corruptors to deal with drops. Banelings, which are going to roll through Ghosts, Overwhelming Marauders, blow up Planetaries. So Ultra Lingbane Corruptor, especially with a few Infestors left over from the early game, is amazing. I do think 1 Infestor's a bit low. I think if he had 2 or 3, it would be great, because then he could have Infestors on a squad on the right, Infestors on a squad on the left, and then you can just fungal these and catch them, of course. Corruptors will achieve the same thing in terms of the medevacs can't just pick up and fly away. So cool, man. I remember when I was trying to convince Cyril to try out the Infestor Zergling into Ultra style years ago, and he was like, yeah, there's some potential, but he was kind of saying like it's so hard to pull off these styles that he didn't really want to play them much. And I never expected, though I should have in hindsight, I should have realized, of course, REYNOR's going to be the guy who says, oh, that's a dangerous, gambly, crazy style. Yeah, let's do that. Like, because REYNOR loves doing risky, weird, niche builds. He loves kind of showing his style in his gameplay. And this style, like skipping Banelings, just going Massling with a few Fungals, rushing to the Hive. Such a good style. And you going to really defend this? He's still on 1-1 upgrades against 2-2. A massive advantage on the upgrades for REYNOR. Ultra Lingbane Corruptor rolling forwards. Would have loved the Ultras to actually lead the charge, as the Lings, I think, kind of get cleared a bit easily there because they're a bit too far in front of the army. I just think there's too many units there. MARU could micro like a wizard. Ain't going to get him out of this trouble. The Marine Marauder's going to run away. The Planetary's there as well. Ultra Baneling doing what it can. They got on the natural also. Man, look at how little damage his units do to the Ultras. He's going to stim himself to death at the Fungal! That 1 Infestor from earlier in the game. The Corruptors are also going to start to kill these Libs as well. Really good micro. 3rd base is being cleared out. And these Ultras are just an absolute menace. There's 2 in the natural as well. That Marauder does actually kill that one, but this one's up on the high ground, killing SCVs as they pop out. MARU just too far behind. And like I said, I think a brilliant play for MARU, a build order we don't see very much. I actually love the decision that he made, but REYNOR ends up winning the series 4-2, and I do think it comes back to how well he shut down this first Hellion run by. If we look at that again and we look at the aftermath, I mean, hats off to the Queen count being good, moving his Queens pretty quickly. You can see 2 of them were on the right, but he splits his Queens very early, gets some good damage. These Lings, because the Lings are forcing the Hellions to stay here, the Queens are getting a lot more damage than they normally would, not to mention the Lings attacks themselves. So he's already lost a Hellion and a Reaper, and it's only 2 Hellions. If he has 3 Hellions, they're one-shotting drones here. I do think he should have driven in the main. There was nothing in the main base. I think that was a big mistake for MARU. He could have done more damage, but how much more? It's hard to say. Building the Spore, spreading the drones, so little damage here, and if you fast forward like a minute or 2 from that point, the Banshees come and kill 2 drones, but look at the worker count. It's a solid 15 worker lead with an insanely fast infestation and well-timed double upgrades. This is simply put a solid lead for REYNOR. He's got a well-timed 4th. He's got way better creep spread because there's no Hellions active on the front. Essentially, MARU's first wave didn't go well for him. So even though he had a good build order, REYNOR just ran away with this game, going up to that streamlined style. I mean, it's such a smooth style. No Banelings for the siege tanks to target. Sick style. I love that this build order has become such a mainstay of his play. And I love this series because both players were throwing so many all-ins and attacks and timings at each other. A really fun tactical series. where the aggressive builds almost always worked until we got to the very tail end of the series. GG, well played. REYNOR wins 4-2 and goes through to the top 4 of the RSL offline finals. GG, well played. All right, guys, we've got the interview here from REYNOR after that series.
I was kind of feeling the proxy racks, and I was like, okay, there's really good chance because it's a Zerg map. MARU likes to start things off with cheese. But then I didn't really trust myself, so I said, okay, I'll just play hatch first. And it bit me back. So when I played in Tokamak and I scouted the tube E-base, something was off, man. Like something was off. Like his reactor and tech lab were really late, and then I had a flashback of Yona telling me this kind of build dies to, like the really fast double E-base dies to Roach Ravager. So I canceled my +1 Billy.
Oh, that's why you canceled it. We were wondering why you would cancel it. Okay.
That, and also I was like, he hasn't played a single standard game yet. Surely he's not starting now. So I felt like something was off. Just in general, I had a weird...
So that's actually really good. So I think the whole point there is essentially if you go for that double upgrade build, and that's the same thing he beat REYNOR with on Enclave when they played back in the RSL Season 3. Basically, it's I've got good upgrades, I've got a good economy, and then I just make Marine Marauder Widowmine, and I just start pushing you and dropping you and overwhelming you. That build doesn't have siege tanks. It often doesn't even have a second factory, right? Because you're just pumping Widow Mines. You might get a second factory eventually for Drilling Claws, but you might not even bother with that, right? If you know, depending on what you're playing against. Either way, Roach Ravager can just bile down Widow Mines without ever going in range. Ravagers can outrange the Marine Marauder, so you can bile their concave, and the Marine Marauder have to spend more time dodging biles than actually fighting. And even though their upgrades are really early, you can bust them. So he kind of said, wait a second, this sort of like pure bio no tank build that Maru's going to do, Cyril said 1-1 Roach, like Ravager beats it, especially if you just go for a 66 drone 1-1 Roach Ravager all in. So he's got that. But also he's saying, well, they were both cheesing the heck out of each other. Maru hadn't played any standard games. And obviously Roach Ravager is just safer against anything weird that happens, right? If it's a crazy mech swap, if it's a 50 worker all in, like in that last game, Roach Ravager would have been great against that as well. So REYNOR, I think, was really locked in here saying, this is the build that counters a lot of the weird BS Maru could do here. And I think that's why that was such a slap down on Tokamak. Really cool to hear from him as well. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.